Welcome back to Gatekeeper Media's chase card coverage of the Skelleftea Open. This is round 2, back 9, and I'm Andrew Fish, joined here by Chandler Fry.
The fish fry is still happening. BYOB, bring a plate. Let's get it going. This course is fantastic. What are your thoughts on the design of this course, Fish?
Really, really fun. I think they blend a lot of good, fair challenges, including out of bounds, gaps, baskets that are perched right next to danger. An ideal location for excellent European disc golf.
Yeah, and we can see Jesse pulling together a pretty good round, 2 down through the front 9. The rest of the card shooting even or worse, not much worse though. But the front 9 definitely the harder of the 2 9s.
For sure. And hole 10, 135 meters. Basket perched on a hill. A little bit of out of bounds to contend with, long and left, but for the most part, this is a very straightforward backhand.
I like straightforward backhands and showing us how to do it. There we go. Just a little left of the basket. And Jesse looking to match that line, leaking a bit right, but moving to the left.
Yeah, the late fade just to check onto the hill. Nestori Tuhkanen. We've seen mostly backhands out of him. Very proficient with that, and then some long putts to mix in.
And Silver likely throwing I was going to say Explorer, but this is a bit long. Might be a distance. Might be a Grace or something along that line.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of an in-between distance with as much open space as there is, but not just able to throw a hyzer at it. Silver going to reset. He started very well and then kind of slowed down as the front 9 went on.
Yeah, he found himself in a couple of precarious situations and had a hard time getting out of the woods a couple times, but it's a good pickup on the first hole of the back 9 to get it started.
And Miro Ryhanen.
Yeah, going 3 down in the last 4 holes. Definitely showing, like I said, in the front 9, some mental fortitude. He is a grinder. He is a battler. At such a young age, that's a really good sign for the future for him.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do. Like, know that bogeys are going to come, and you're going to get them next time. Or you're going to get the birdies the next time. So 3 birdies and a par takes us on to hole 11.
Yeah, hole 11, 607 feet. This gap that you have to hit and have the shot finish left, another position shot. And then you have to turn almost dogleg right onto this spine, which you'll find the basket sat right on top. What am I trying to say? Just right on top of the spine. It's a touchy forehand or backhand approach. Definitely not something you want to do that on. That is well out of position. He is playing for par at best.
Yeah, Miro's going to have to lay up to the bottom of the hill and then another touchy approach up.
Jesse looking to put his shot a little bit more right so he can get through that gap and finish hard left. Just like that. Huge flare skip.
Yeah.
Might be a little pinched. Might be too long.
Maybe. We know he's going to want to throw the forehand for his second.
Yeah.
But you notice how much more right in the gap his shot was initially than Miro's was. Silver's
a little higher from Silver.
Yeah, going to try to follow Jesse's line. A little bit of a deader skip.
Yeah, softer landing. I think he got that kind of muddy area right there. Might have deadened the landing a little bit. This is a good looking angle from Nestori.
And among those 3, we'll see who put themselves in the best position. Miro.
Yeah, Miro being forced to do something kind of crazy. He wanted to skip out of that. He just leaked it a little bit right, it looks like.
Yeah, and the killer here, laying up to lay up.
It hurts. And here's that spine I was talking about. You want this disc to land nice and soft by the basket, because anything else is going to skip, or as we saw in the first round, potentially roll a good distance down that hill.
AB flex forehand from Jesse, and same idea from Silver.
It's a tough shot because it's still at the distance that you have to put some power on it, so the touch is hard to come by. You're kind of relying a bit on luck that when it does hit the ground, it doesn't hit a rock or a weird angle. I like this. It's going to land nice and flat.
Yeah, flat in the bullseye still equates to skittering down to 6 or 7 meters, though. Jesse wants no part of that. Just going to lay up.
Might have been a subconscious layup there. Decent bid from Nestori there. Yeah, tough hole from Miro. Just all stemmed from that first shot. Just didn't commit to that gap. Didn't make it through. And it's a tough position to be in.
Silver cards back to back. He's going to be the only birdie on the card. And Jesse really thinking about this relatively short putt, but does convert, keeping his excellent round in progress.
Yep. You got to focus up even on those shorter putts, because they can burn you pretty fast.
Hole 12, 108 meters. Line of trees in the middle of the fairway. Got to choose left or right at that. And then the defining feature is this little kidney-shaped pond directly in front of the basket, Chandler.
Yeah, that makes you kind of question every decision you make on a shot like this. Do you lay it up? Do you go long? Do you try to go for the basket? It's definitely an ace run potential. For being one of the shorter holes out here, it's definitely a tough hole. He gets a little lucky on that one, skipping off the little wall that surrounds the kidney-shaped pond. Ooh.
Boy.
Hits a branch. Gets lucky.
Yeah.
I'd say that's luck.
Yeah, absolutely a hyzer swoop from Nestori. But may even be able to take a little safe bid from circle 2. And
there we go.
Miro jumping off the water, parked.
Yeah, absolutely a misrelease. You can see from his reaction to the shot, he wanted it to get up. But if you got some luck on your side, you don't need to get up. Park job from Miro. Unfortunate miss from Nestori there.
Yeah, as he ramps all the way to the backside of circle 1, and a good conversion.
Yeah, he is stringing together some pars, which is decent, but he wants to get a couple birdies in there. And this is from that shot that skipped off the little retaining wall.
And yes, they may be thinking too much about the water and not enough about the chains. Silver going to get a par. Jesse to do the same. And Miro going to card the lone birdie.
Yeah, cool looking skip shot from the water on Miro, from Miro there.
This is the new
Up to ice orbit. Look
at this
very nice thing.
tingling.
Let's cast a blast. Hole 13, 104 meters, 341 feet, par 3. relatively straightforward hole. You just want something, probably a mid-range, to get through that middle gap, finish slightly left towards the basket, avoid those trees on the right and left. And it looks like Miro has done that. He has a bit of a tester coming back.
See the other option with the forehand.
Oh yeah.
And very well executed for Silver Latt. I think this is a much safer version of hole 5. Same kind of shape with the swinging mid-range out to the right as an option.
Still, those trees in front of the basket, though, just ruin shots.
This the easiest hole for the field on the day. 42% birdie, only 4% bogey. And this the first look. Not a whole lot to play with there, huh, Chandler?
Not much. And having a hole like this on the back nine, this is, especially with the rounds that we're seeing our players having right now, this is a hole that in their head they have to get.
Yeah, like it's almost more of a psychological challenge than it is physical challenge.
Absolutely, yeah. And not getting it hurts just that much extra, you know. Walking off the green on this hole after carding your par, or potentially worse, it's just a horrible feeling. Knowing what's waiting for you on the next hole.
So, Silver, 3 birdies on the card.
Yep. Also 3 down for the last 4 holes. That is some solid production there.
And hole 14, 187 meters. A lot like hole 12, the defining feature is at the green. Initial gap, need to drag your disc to the right at some point, but then the fairway is going to break pretty hard to the left. Basket perched on a small retaining wall with a pretty fast turf green.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of high turned backhands on this hole, hopefully finishing slightly left, looking down the fairway. They want to give themselves the easiest look at the upshot as possible so they can navigate over that water. Having a blind approach on this hole is not what you're looking for.
No, and in order to do that, you need to get your disc to the right or throw it past the past the edge of the tree line.
Yeah, something like that would do just well.
Nestori is getting full flight. And even an improvement on what Silver had been able to throw. Yese back to that forehand.
Even with Nestori's throw, like that's still a touchy little upshot. It brings in a lot more touch, I'd say, than the longer approach. I think the fear of going long is real on that one. And this has to get up. Dang it.
Yeah, gonna find the out of bounds. Putting from the short side now. And I like the forehand here because you're kind of throwing, you're not throwing directly across the pond, you're throwing around the side of it.
Oh, I don't like it for that reason right there. You're moving towards the OB with the potential on that turf. Oh, sit.
Wow. What a bizarre result. Like you go from almost an eagle to rolling back and then dropping in a par.
Yeah. I like the aggressive play on that. I doubt he was actually expecting to hit the basket as hard. He might have been hoping to be like, well, I'm going for it, but I'm probably going to miss the medal and I'll just get a birdie. So it's somewhat very unfortunate right there for Nestori.
Yeah. So
he will be carding another par.
Yese and Silver both able to get their par cleanups. Yese from a pretty good distance. Miro, the only one able to stay safe and will get the bird.
Yeah, lucky birdie. He did hit that cinder block to stay in bounds. He would have joined Silver if not for that A little bit of good fortune.
And a big stretch.
Hole 15, 492 feet, 150 meters, par 3. A long par 3, but it is downhill with OB on the right and long. We have some trees that you got to miss to the right and left, but just throw something, perhaps a faster fairway or a slower distance. Just control it, kind of like what we're seeing right here. You don't want it to move too far left or right, just nice and straight. Give yourself a chance, and that's a good execution. Here we see it's too low.
Yep, just burned into the ground immediately.
Yep, got to give it some height. I'm sure Silver knows that, though. That's the kind of shot that you just want immediately back. It's like, I can do way better than that. A million times better than that.
"15 playing is the 6th most difficult, not necessarily because the shot is hard, but because in order to birdie it, you have to introduce the possibility of out of bounds.
Mm-hmm. Which I love for a concept in hole design. In order to birdie it, you have to test the out of bounds. I think that's fantastic. Silver, after his short drive, nice little touchy forehand approach, likely with that, maybe a little bit faster than a harp, almost dunks it. Lethal from that distance.
Yeah, and still with the control to stay on the backside of the bullseye.
Yeah. When I keep on harping on this, but when you talk about the best forehands in the world, you got the Sextons, you got the Eagles, you got the Germs. You got to put Silver up there, in my opinion. He has been around for quite a long time, and he has proven that he has elite sidearm time after time.
Yeah, for sure. And all the skills, not just distance or control or
for
something.
Sure.
Couple.
Yeah, put a harp in his hand, and it's tough to beat.
Nestori gets himself to 2 under on the round with a good birdie pickup. And Jesse, a step backwards. He had a good hot start and then has kind of stalled here in the middle of his round.
Yeah, Miro putting together some decent scores going to the last few holes. Really correcting from his front 9.
Hole 16, 337 meters, a very challenging par 5, not just for the distance, but for the specificity. Tee shot is going to break to the right, and then the fairway is going to continue snaking back to the left, and then finally back to the right as we approach the green. Chandler, how do you attack this?
Like this. A nice committed shot. High left, you want it to finish right. It looks like it connected. You just want to stay in the fairway on this hole, like I've been saying the entire round. But it's tough because the first shot requires a good amount of power, and so it definitely brings into that realm of yank or that shank possibility.
Nestori underturned, Miro overturned. We'll see if Silver can kind of Goldilocks this.
I kind of like this because instead of the high turnover, he went lower, harder with a hyzer flip. And then Jesse going back to his forehand.
Yeah, that's bread and butter.
Yep. Nice and easy.
And perfectly placed in the fairway. He should have forehand or backhand from there for his second.
Yeah, this is a difficult hole to score on. I think I'd be happy with a 5 here. There's just a lot of danger to be had on both left and right. A lot of mistakes that can happen. You got to be focused up on this hole if you want to score.
Yeah,
the fairway, however, is a decent size. You should be able to find it.
Yeah, and that kind of suckers you in because you figure with all that open space, you should be attacking it. good position golf from Silver. Only 10% of the field carding birdie and 45% bogey or worse. The fourth hardest hole on the day.
Yeah, definitely a common theme in European disc golf courses. They are hard. I believe he's found the fairway, but a different fairway, and he is looking at a wall of trees. And the trees are at a perfect height where you can't really go over them with any amount of confidence.
Yeah, can't
So
can't really cheat the hole. Nestori.
Yeah, I love that.
And a pretty credible roller.
Wow.
Will have a chance to get up and down from that spot.
Back to Nestori. There we go. Good touch from Nestori there.
And Miro, we haven't seen that many forehand approaches from him. He's been mostly backhands, only going forehand when forced to.
That was solid. Yesy with a long look.
And that jump putt range. Everyone making the tap-ins academic here. Nestori for his par. Same for Jesse and Miro.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with pars on this hole. Hole 17, short par 3, 69 meters, island hole. There's not much to this hole, but you have got to stick the green. If you don't, you're looking at bogey.
Yeah, this is basically a birdie or bogey for everybody. So take the putter you believe you can stick at that distance, at that shape.
Yep. Nice standard 230-foot shot from Nestori there with probably a harp, just like Mr. Latt is doing right here. That's got to sit down.
Gotta dig, and does so.
Yeah,
Good
there is
soft
a
mulch
slight
landing.
wall that you can hit, but it doesn't. I wouldn't rely on it.
Miro successfully also in, and that leaves Jesse.
Some good-looking shots from our card on this hole.
Yeah, all four inbounds. All four have that chance to putt.
Yeah, one difficulty with the green on this hole is the railroad ties potentially make some weird stances, but didn't affect Miro in the slightest.
No, by this point you're real close to the bucket. For the second day in a row, only 5% pars.
Only 5%. Yeah, the drop zone located about 60, 65 feet away, making that par putt extremely difficult to obtain.
But everybody able to take care of business.
Yep, I believe the first star frame of our round. All birdies.
And hole 18, we're going to close it out with a par 4 at 210 meters. A couple different options off the tee. You can play a wide forehand or a straighter backhand. Getting to a credible landing zone, definitely a challenge. And then the basket perched up on top of an elevated green.
Yeah, nice straightforward par 4. But if you hit a tree early, you are scrambling. And this shot looking perfect from Nestori.
And this, the most difficult hole of the entire day.
That surprises me.
Yeah, we went from 5% par on hole 17 to 5% birdie for the MPO field.
Wow, 5% birdie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, showing I think the majority of the difficulty seen on this hole is from the tee pad because you have to choose a gap to hit. There are 3 lanes that you can potentially choose from. Silver looking to go sidearm. I'm guessing down the middle, maybe a flex, or is he doing that left gap? Neither.
Yeah, he kind of chose tree, and that doesn't work that often.
Yeah, I hardly ever make that choice on purpose, that is. And Yessi looking to correct a little bit off of Silver's mistake. Taking his time.
Yeah, one final tee shot. Got to focus up.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a good round going. Everybody here is 3 or 4 down, and they started the round at 3 or 4 down on this chase card. So I think if you just hold serve and take a par, you got to feel good about how you're finishing.
I agree. Oh, Silver looking for a big second shot. Stays on the fringe. He should have a look at a up and down par.
Yeah, got good distance out of it.
You can see the trees all the way down the fairway that you have to punch through. It is not an easy second shot.
Yeah, without a bounce down the left side, you can't go throw something too fast. Yes, for the flat forehand, trying for a little bit of flip up.
Yeah, might have a longer look at potentially a birdie. But by his reaction, I doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
And this should be a pretty standard flex sidearm from Nestori here. There's not much in his way. You just got to get it up there.
Oh, and he hates it.
Yeah, bit of a worm burner there. Didn't really ever give it a chance. Oh, and this shot looking pretty difficult. Silva having to punch through some woods. And similar distance to Nestori there, but his being for a par.
And after seeing that, looks like Miro able to school up by a little bit, but still outside circle 1.
Yeah, we got ourselves a putt off on the last hole here.
Yeah, everybody much further back than is desirable. Yes, pretty clearly low.
Silver want nothing to do with that, laying up.
And that may be he checked scores and saw where he was. Realized that he didn't need to do anything crazy. He could just settle for the bogey, even though that hurts a bit.
Miro all over the basket today. Barely misses low left. Nestori with a nice tap in. He'll get that par.
Silver does card the bogey.
Yeah, impressive play from the young Europeans. The future of European disc golf is definitely bright, seeing some of these shots these younger guys are throwing. It's
absolutely. I really like the variety of styles and strengths that we've seen so far in these first 2 rounds, and looking forward to more in our final round chase card coverage also of the Skelleftea Open. You see Silver bumping himself up onto the lead card, and tomorrow we will be following Jesse Nieminen, Nestori once again, and Miro. I'm sorry I missed who that last one was going to be, but I sincerely hope that you'll join Chandler and I as we talk more about the state of Swedish disc golf in the Skelleftea Open.